Hey, what's up, humans and freaks? So, there's a lot of news going on, but if you guys haven't noticed, I saw this news piece the other day about the female teachers and the male high school students. How the female um, high school teachers are hooking up with the male high school students. Now, here's the thing about this. This has been going on pretty much forever, for a long time. The thing is now that we have the internet, social media, we're just more aware of these things a lot more today than we were in years past. But what's crazy is that there is not one high school young man, and I say young man because if you're 16, 17, whatever, 15, you're a young man. That's a young man. That's not a child, okay? So when you look at the Islam world, the Muslim world, we're outraged, and rightfully so, when we see like those child brides in some Muslim sects, not all Muslim obviously, but some Muslim sect, SECT sects, right? They have these child brides, which is disturbing because those are literal children. They're like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. That's ridiculous. That's evil. Those are kids. But I've never heard of a high school man who's like 16, 17, 15, whatever, who sexually hooks up with his attractive female teacher. Guys, he's giving high fives. His buddies are high fiving him. They're all giving each other high fives. That's not. That is not some kid being taken advantage of and some victim. That's a willing dude. Like, are you guys crazy? Like, obviously, don't break the law. Don't be stupid and do that. But that is not some. I mean, I can remember when I was in high school, we had. Here's what's funny. We actually had a very attractive female teacher at our high school. And here's what's crazy is she actually hooked up with another female high school student who was a lesbian, obviously. So there was this there was this butch looking like lesbian chick in our high school who hooked up with a very attractive, um, princess type looking female teacher. And none of us thought to ourselves, she was not. All of us guys were like looking around like, wait, what? Like we were looking at the lesbian chick like, no way. No way. Really? Like, dude, the guys were like jealous of the lesbian chick. So like this is crazy, you guys. This is crazy. Okay, but here's the thing. If the roles were reversed, if it was a male teacher with a whatever 16, 15, 17-year-old female student, it'd be World War III. It'd be, oh, he's in jail for life. He's in jail for life. But these female teachers, they get slaps on the wrist because everybody knows what it really is. Everybody knows what it really is. We know what it really is. So this latest story that I saw, this female teacher, she'll probably do like 9 months or 6 months or whatever. They say a few years, like 2 or 3 years. But think about that. Even if she only gets 2 or 3 years in prison or jail or whatever, or probation, these female teachers never truly, like, most of them never really get in all that much trouble. You know why? Because everybody knows what it really is. Nobody's looking at a 16-year-old young man, a 17-year-old young man with his hot female teacher thinking, oh, poor kid. Nobody's thinking that. See, but this is the stuff you're not supposed to say. This is the stuff you're not supposed to talk about and say but You know me. I don't care. I'm calling it what it really is. What it really is what I just described. And if you look at the comments on the story, dude, all his buddies are going like this with him. High five, high five, high five. And they're all just like, yeah, oh yeah, you know, guys, like they do music videos about this stuff. So Van Halen was popular for doing that video in the 80s, Hot for Teacher, you know. It's in movies, it's in why is this in media and in music videos and because it's a real thing. It's a real thing. And this latest story, you know, sadly enough, the woman was actually married. You know, a lot of them are married, and that ties into the whole red pill stuff that, you know, we're always talking about. So why would an attractive married woman, right, hook up with her student, her high school? Because again, in the red pill, what we always tell you is not all women, but a lot of women marry men they are not sexually attracted to at all. And that's why, you know, she finds the pool boy or the personal trainer or the student, or you know what I'm saying? Like this is what happens. You know, and obviously I'm speaking this is what happens in the world's systems, you know. There's the Christian world and then there's the world systems. But it's even worse when it happens in the Christian world, right? Because that's a double like, you know, whammy, so to speak, because you know, it's the Christian world. So and notice I didn't say Catholic. You know, that's highly disturbing. Check out that documentary Spotlight, where you have the Catholic priests and all that, and they move them around when they prey on little boys and, you know, genuine like boys. Like that's a whole nother that's evil. That's crazy. But guys, let's call it for what it really is. There is not one high school man, young man, 16, 15, 17, that hooks up with his hot high school teacher. No man on planet Earth is like, oh, because we all know what it is. That's one of young men's like biggest fantasies, guys. So we know what it is. But you know, it happens the other way around too, because you know, I've back in the 90s and early 2000s, I knew of young teenage women, you know, 16, 17, whatever, even 15, that would chase, they would literally chase down older men, you know, and hook up with them. And what are they doing? They're just giggling with their girlfriends. You know, they're just giggling about it with their girlfriends the next day. So, you know, girls do the same thing. Young women do the same thing. So, guys, this is just humanity for thousands of years. But all these stories, you can look them up. There's hundreds and thousands of these cases over the last decades here in America of teachers, female teachers hooking up with their high school, you know, male students. So it is what it is. But let's call it for what it really is. They're both willing participants. Nobody's being forced to do anything. No one's being preyed upon. Like that's crazy. Dude, I'm just thinking back to when I was in high school. Like we all would just be like, okay, whatever. Like, but anyway, it is what it is. That's the world we live in. And there's a lot of news stories going around with the wars and all that, but these stories are out there too, and they pop up every now and then. I just see them, and I'm like, what young man out there is like, uh, being like victimized about that? Like they don't see it like that. They don't see it like that at all. Like I said, it goes both ways. So some of you dads out there maybe, oh, not my teenage daughter. Yeah, I knew some of them back in the 90s and early 2000s that would do that. So don't even. Let's just stop playing pretend. Is my point. Let's stop playing pretend and act like these are, you know, 9 and 7 and those are true children. Those are true kids. But when you're 16 and 17 and 15, you're a young man. You're a young woman. Oh, but the law, yeah. I understand, but that's for labor. That's for work. That has nothing to do with biology, guys. All right. God bless.